Hi, I'm Tom Hoffman with 121 Media, coming to you from the Dreamforce conference here in San Francisco. And I'm joined today by Zahid Afzal, who is Executive Vice President and Chief Information Officer at the Huntington National Bank. And today, Zahid and I will be talking about the bank's transition to Salesforce and its use of services from Blue Wolf and the drivers behind going in this direction. And Zahid, thanks so much for joining us today. Appreciate
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me here.
So, Zahid, if you could, tell us a little bit about how the Huntington National Bank began using services from Blue Wolf and moved to the platform for Salesforce.
Sure, Tom. Back in early 2009, when we had a change in management, Steve Steinauer came in as our new chairman and CEO, and he challenged us with looking at our overall strategy of the company and where we needed to be. Under those circumstances we were in, difficult economy, company was on the verge of pretty much being in extinction due to the challenges that we were facing. We were losing a lot of money under those circumstances. We went and built this whole cross-sell strategy and focused on really changing the culture. And as part of that initiative, when we looked at our system environment, our technology, we learned that we had 6 different CRM systems in the company that did not integrate well. And in order to implement that level of the strategy, we needed to have one common platform, and that's what triggered us to go out and look for the right partner, the right solution, and we ended up talking to Salesforce.com, ended up selecting them as a key partner for us.
Excellent, thanks. So you were telling me before that you're supporting a sizable number of customers with this platform, correct?
Yes.
How many customers are involved?
Over 1.3 million customers. We have 8,000 plus colleagues inside the company that are now a user of this capability, and we're one of the largest implementation in the financial services side for Salesforce.com.
So for a company as large as the Huntington National Bank, I would imagine that there's quite a bit of effort that's involved with integrating existing legacy systems and platforms with the Salesforce platform as well. Can you speak to that, and also, if you can, talk a little bit as to how the role that Blue Wolf has played as part of this?
Great. So you're absolutely right. It is a complex effort. There's a technology component to it, which comes from Salesforce.com, and then there is our architecture that really pulls it all together. Blue Wolf played a critical role for us to come in and help us create this roadmap, integration roadmap, so that Salesforce.com can connect to our service-oriented architecture, so that it can connect to our information about the customer, about the analysis of that information. So Blue Wolf came and helped us build this multi-year roadmap, and not only helped us build it, but actually helped us execute on it.
Excellent. So as you've gone down this path, can you talk a little bit about some of the business benefits that you've accrued as a result of moving to the Salesforce platform, consolidating the multiple CRM systems that you had in place, and what this has meant in terms of developing tighter relationships with customers?
Sure. Benefits are huge. We are when we went from conception to implementation in 5 months. Really truly following the agile process, if you kind of think of it that way, of getting these capabilities out there quicker, which is what was needed, so that we can integrate, we can leverage what we have out there. In the first 5 months, the first implementation that we did, the number of referrals quadrupled from what we used to have, because we didn't have the tracking mechanism. Because remember, we didn't have these connections across business lines. And we are a very well-diverse financial services company. Not only that, from a results perspective, from those referrals, in the first implementation, our close ratio was roughly about 40%. We have consistently since then run close to 50% in that close ratio, which is phenomenal. generally you hear about 20-25% close ratio, 50% is phenomenal. But just an illustration of when you do this right, when you do it with the customer need in mind, when you have the right pieces, parts come together, the business success comes. It turns into revenue, it turns into profitability.
Sure. Those are significant gains. And I would imagine too that, given that with this implementation, having that type of, having a customer champion and a project champion like the CEO behind this effort made a great deal of difference, particularly if there were different stakeholders in the organization that might have been beholden to different CRM systems that they've been accustomed to relying on in the past.
Great point, great point. It's very, very critical. To me, that's the number one criteria. Top-down support, top-down buy-in, all the way from the CEO level to every business segment, every business unit that understands not only the vision, but also understands the execution of what we need to go and do. So adoption is very critical, and that comes from top-down. So, as an example, I was tasked to actually co-champion a cross-sell strategy with CEO support. Even till today, our monthly reviews with our CEO, our operating reviews, page number 1 is about cross-sell. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that the process to connect these dots across business lines is important. So we took an approach to say, we're not going to solve it through technology. We need to go build a culture, a sales culture in the company. So we created a framework called Optimal Customer Relationship, OCR. And everything fits under that umbrella from sales perspective. And that's what created the culture in the company.
That's interesting. So just as a follow-up to that, I would imagine that this also involved a great alignment between sales, marketing, and even customer service to some extent. Can you talk a little bit as to how that came about?
Yeah, again, when we looked at the processes, the process side, we looked at end-to-end under the umbrella of OCR, Optimal Customer Relationship. That relationship doesn't come from just product push. It doesn't come just from sales.
Right.
It comes from managing the relationship, taking that 360 view of the customer. And that's why OCR was so important to get marketing, servicing functions, operations, technology, sales, all sorts of functions that have to come together under that umbrella.
Okay. So Zahid, looking ahead, what are some of the other plans that are in place, features and functionality that you're looking to implement?
So areas we focus on now a lot more on analytics. We focus a lot more on creating the social enterprise, so that it's not just about now sending referrals, not just about creating relationships kind of in a Salesforce.com view of the relationship, but really creating an environment where our customers, where suppliers, where servicing, all that comes together in that framework.
Okay. Well, Zahid, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.